the Lugiamaster. I get the feeling Josh Scorcher's gonna attack me for that. Nah! Anyway, so this is my first review of pretty much anything. I mean, if you don't count my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff and toy reviews. Well, this is my first theatrical review. It makes it sound like this review is gonna be in theaters. I wish it was, but that's not the case here. But this is the first time I reviewed a movie. Won't be the last either. Who knows when I'll do the next one. But for sure, I'm going to start trying to do reviews on My Little Pony, the show itself. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get started. So, my thoughts on the MLP movie. It's I don't know what to say, basically. When I first saw it, I gave it a 6.5 because one thing, there was too many songs, I think, in my opinion. I mean, then again, it's like one of those season finales, like season 4, for example. Like, that had a lot of songs in it. Granted, the songs were really good and catchy and all that, and they were played by live orchestra, so that's also a plus. But another thing that kind of brought it down is that I think they rushed through the introduction of each character. Granted, they did give some time to introduce conversations with the new characters introduced in the movie. So like Capper means it's the first character that they, well, not the first ally that they meet in the movie. And he comes off as, the suave, smooth kind of guy, the guy who's got your back. That kind of guy. Problem is I think they spent too little time. I know the movie's an hour and 39 minutes long, but what else can you do? I mean, they could have dragged it out to 2 hours or even a little bit past 2 hours. Give some more time to get to know these characters a bit more. Then, I mean, that's all I've really got to complain for now. But, okay, that's not it. That's not it. So, for now, that's all I'm going to complain about. Let's get to this. So, what's interesting is how they made Twilight Sparkle become the main antagonist of the movie. I mean, people in the comment section are probably going to disagree. She wasn't the main antagonist. She was antagonized herself. I mean, the way that things were kind of going along through the beginning of the movie, kind of could see that, well, how should I put it? It just felt like she was going to become the main antagonist. I know people are going to say that Tempest Shadow or the Storm King are the main antagonists. It's not technically true. I'd say Storm King is like the side villain, and Tempest is the main villain. Twilight Sparkle is the main antagonist. She kind of starts off as the main protagonist, but then she kind of goes off the deep end and goes into that main antagonist kind of dealio. She ends up actually ruining several things that her friends were trying to do. So, one scene, she tells Pinky and the others that they should have some fun, play around with whatever the C version of the hippogriffs are. But what she did, this had to be one of the most unforgivable things that she's done. The most sneaky, the most backstabbing, untrustworthy thing she could ever do. So she decides to wait for them to leave and then try and steal this pearl, I guess, that keeps the hippogriffs in their current sea pony form or whatever. And well, Queen Nova was going to say yes to, helping out the main six, or she'll do something to help out. But it was Twilight's actions that caused her to, kick them out of whatever place that they were in. I know they were in the water and all that. So Twilight is also very untrusting of, she doesn't trust any of the characters that they meet. So she doesn't trust Capper because, well, it's a very odd looking town, it's dangerous looking, you don't know who you can trust. She doesn't trust anybody, especially Capper. And that's what interested me. Even throughout that song, the song that Capper sung, you can see that Twilight didn't trust him at all. Like when they were walking into the house, or well, his place of residence, I guess you could say. Twilight just gave him a glare, just like that. I mean, you probably didn't see me glare or anything, but you get the point. She didn't trust him at all. And then, well, he was going to sell them off to this guy named Virgo, or I swear it sounds like Virgo in the movie at first, and then, well, Virgo says his name more clearly. And, well, okay, okay, so. And then eventually, well, since Capper helped, quote unquote, save Twilight and her friends from, being sold or, bought by any of those guys who were trying to spy their stuff, or take Spike or anything like that, kind of scared them off. Rarity did something in return, fixing up his little coat thing he was wearing, his suit or whatever. And he was going to sell the main six to Virgo to pay off his debt. Which now I wonder, what was his debt? I'm actually curious now. Writers, get on that now. Yeah, they're never going to see this. But you can see that as time progressed, as they were inside his house and saw what Rarity did to him, you see, should I really be selling these guys? So he decides to, try to stop them from leaving the house or the residence or whatever. And well, Twilight opens the door and Virgo appears. Surprise! Not really. And well, obviously, that was kind of warranted. But at first, Capper wanted to sell them off, but then he had a change of heart and didn't want them to be sold off to Virgo. So, yeah. So, next thing. So, Twilight and the gang go on to this flying ship, Scarif, whatever. And she's very untrusting. She doesn't trust the pirates on the ship. I mean, they're pirates for one, and they've already been betrayed, or she thinks, or the main six already think they've been betrayed by Capper. So, but the main six, or the main five of the main six, are willing to, I don't know, accept the trust or help out the pirates, and they trusted them. But Twilight, she doesn't trust them at all. She's pretty much locked herself away, I guess you could say. She doesn't trust anybody at this point. And Pinkie Pie said it really clearly, that she doesn't trust her friends either. It seems like Twilight Sparkle tries to make the biggest decisions, and they end up being the worst. in this movie. And then she decides to yell at Pinkie Pie. I mean, and well, Pinkie Pie got upset. Twilight Sparkle gets captured. All that. Now, the animation style in this story is really interesting. They used CGI, they used hand-drawn animation. It feels weird in certain areas, but I think in certain parts, the CGI and the 2D animation kind of works really well together. I mean, the two statues of the sisters, that still weirds me out to this day. Well, that doesn't really bother me. The music's good, animation's good. Wish there was a bit more character development throughout the movie. And if I had to say that one character that was developed the least, that would definitely be the Storm King. I mean, come on. He wasn't really even a good villain at all. I mean, funny, yes, but a good villain? And now. It's like the cliche, I'm big strongy boy, going to kill, take over all of Equestria. Ends up getting defeated, well, killed, really. That's another thing. There's quite a few deaths in this movie. I mean, obviously they've killed off characters in the show itself, and they've gotten to some extremely dark themes within the show. But this is like on a whole new level. It's a bit more graphic. I mean, you see the Storm King shatter into, I'd like to say millions of pieces, but let's just say hundreds of pieces. That's probably a bit more accurate. And now that you mention it, when that spell was reversed, oh dear God. Okay, let that sink in for a second. The spell gets reversed where, you know, they're all trapped in that, the ponies that were captured in the crystal thing, they're now back to the normal state. Does that mean the Storm King was also in pieces? Oh dear God. Oh my God, that's even darker than I thought. Okay. I mean, when I saw this movie in theaters, me and my friend heard this kid in the back say, well, he died. And that was hilarious. Because I never expected him to say that. But now let's get back to the movie itself. Alright, certain areas it felt like it dragged. Certain areas it felt like it was rushed. Mostly with the character development and all that. But I think Tempest Shadow, I think she got the most development, I guess you could say. I mean, you get to know about her past. Then again, you know about the past of some of these other characters that you learn about. Skystar tells about the hippogriffs. The pirates tell about their lives before they worked for the Storm King and all that. And it just felt like there needed to be more to it. I mean, yeah. The more I think about it, the more it does sound like it's just a commercial. It's just an hour and a half commercial. That's kind of what it felt like. Didn't say it was bad though. I'm giving it a 7. So, yeah, there's some other dark themes. I mean, if you listen closely in the scene where Pinkie Pie is throwing cupcakes at that one creature, whatever these creatures are, don't know what they are, never explained. You can, like, closer to the end of the laugh, you can hear, like, a demonic laugh. That's, oh my. And this is just from rewatching it now. I played that scene twice, just to make sure I heard what I heard, and by God, she had a demonic laugh. That creeped me out. Another disturbing thing is the desert scene. Clearly, they were dehydrated, so they were on the verge of collapsing and dying. I mean, Pinkie Pie even goes insane and then falls on her face. Classic Pinkie Pie. And, well, everything gets changed, you know. They go back to their normal state when they see a road, or when Spike sees a road. How fast do the ponies of Equestria recover? I mean, realistically, they'd still have to be very, very dehydrated. How did they make it through this desert without any food or water? It seems like they didn't plan this out thoroughly enough. Granted, they did fall off a waterfall, so really there's no real way they could, I guess, plan out something. No, gather stuff. I mean, I guess they. I mean, really, if you think about it, there are some things they could have done to make them last longer, make them not so dehydrated in the desert. But this is a movie, so logic is thrown out the window. Kinda have to accept it. Oh dear God, I can hear the flame comment. I can hear the flame war going out in the comment section below. Anyway, other problems would be, I think it's a commercial. It's basically what it is. That's kind of the problem here. It's a problem, but it's also not a problem. I mean, there was a few other questionable things that they did in the movie which made no sense. And if they would have changed those a little bit better, I can't remember exactly what those scenes were, but they just didn't seem to fit. But other than that, the MLP movie was pretty good, and I would recommend watching it. I mean, to be honest, you don't really need to watch the previous season, so you don't need to watch seasons 5, 6, 7. You don't really need to watch them at all. I know it's weird to say that. Heck, you don't even need to watch season 4 because characters from that have been introduced in season 4 or 5, 6, or 7, well, 5 and 6, they didn't really have they didn't have a voice at all in this movie. So really, if you're going into this movie, if you've seen season 1, you know who the main characters are. Well, there you go. That's all you really need to know. And to be honest, you don't even need to watch the show itself to watch this movie. So, yeah. So I guarantee you that this movie is not canon to the show. Or is it? Who knows? I'm just liking how it's going more adventurous. This movie is pretty adventurous, pretty dark and all that. But other than that, that's all I have to say. So if you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to join the Creeper Cat Army. I'll see you later, recruits. Peace out.